Hi, and welcome to Hidden Buffalo. This is a survey of a few of my favorite Buffalo places, but they're not places that you're going to find on any tour guide or any visitor's information. What these are out of the way, off the beaten path places that are unique to Buffalo, but each in its own way is representative of something unique and different about this city. Along the Buffalo River in South Buffalo is a little pocket park called Smith Street Park. It's a slice of nature right in the middle of the city, but more than that, you can see hundreds of years of history in Buffalo just by looking around from this very park. Behind me, right over here, is Concrete Central, which was the largest of the grain elevators that still dot the city of Buffalo along the Buffalo River. It harkens back to a time when Buffalo was the terminus of the Erie Canal, and grain from the Midwest would come and offload here into these and be stored in these massive grain elevators and eventually shipped all around the country. As time went on, the canal and the transportation provided by the canal was displaced by the railroads. Here you have a railroad bridge right next to the remnant of Concrete Central. Not only does this site tell a lot about the history of Buffalo's industrial past, but it's a great little slice of nature right in the heart of the city. You can see a lot of the marsh grass here, the river, the trees, and it doesn't take much to imagine a time before the bridges and the grain elevators were here, when it was just the early settlers and they were fishing out of this river and living on the riverbank. Clinton, what is it that you like about the park here?
I like the scenery and quiet and peaceful, and I have no problems. I've been coming for 8 years.
Coming for 8 years? And you come down, sometimes you work on your truck?
Work on the truck, yeah. I do a little work on the truck, just like I'm doing now.
Mm-hmm. So it's nicer to hang out here and do your work than be on a hot city street?
Yeah, a lot of them come fishing, but fishing is not too good around here.
Okay. And for those watching at home and small children, I just want to make it perfectly clear that the Buffalo News does not condone trespassing on CSX property. This is the second of our Hidden Buffalo spots. We have crossed the West Ferry Street lift bridge and we ended up at the West Ferry Street dock here. This is a literally very cool spot to be on a summer day. You've got the beautiful river breeze. As tempting as it may be, as you can see, swift water, no swimming allowed. It's also a place where people come to fish. Pretty much any time of the day or evening, you can see a bunch of fishermen here throwing their lines over the railing and trying their luck. We're here on the West Ferry Street dock with Bill. Bill, how long have you been coming down to this dock to fish?
About 40 years.
That's all? Okay. And what generally do you catch off the dock here?
Mostly a lot of perch and rock bass and smallmouths. That's mostly what we catch.
Okay. And with the fish that you catch, do you eat the fish, throw it back? What's
I eat them.
This is what our bait is, and our bait, as we can see, is a minnow. And so there's actually creatures in there that would find this appetizing? We're standing on the Buffalo Breakwall, which runs from one end, on one end, from West Ferry Park all the way down past the Peace Bridge. To the left is the Niagara River. To the right is the Buffalo Channel. This is where Canisius and City Honors and a bunch of the other high school crew teams practice and compete. In fact, we have someone out there in a shell right now, even as we speak. As you can see, the foot of West Ferry was also a key Underground Railroad site, basically escaping slaves, because the river was relatively narrow here. Escaping slaves would come here and escape to freedom in Canada. The East Side is not all that well known for architectural or historical sites, but we are about to suddenly encounter one. This is the 1854 stone farmhouse on Headley Place. This was at one time the only house in this entire neighborhood. Those are stone walls 18 inches thick. At the time it was built, and for much of its early life, this area was not even part of Buffalo. This was rural. None of these houses existed around it. It was supposed to be finished and fully renovated years ago. It's been an ongoing struggle for more than 10 years with the community involved and then Councilman Byron Brown getting some seed money back in the late 90s. George grew up on this street. He still owns property on it, and he's seen over the last 20 years the various stop and start efforts to get this thing restored. Has it been frustrating for you to watch the project really not get done?
Absolutely. At one point, it looked like they were getting things done, and we thought that the whole thing was going to be finished within a matter of years, and it just stopped, halted.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we see the weeds every once in a while. They come through, and they'll cut it, and it looks decent, but we haven't heard anything as far as what actual plans they have set up for it.
As you can see, what was promised to be years ago as a fully done and restored community center for this neighborhood is still waiting to happen.